Welcome everyone to Aycorp Sports on another exciting evening of high school volleyball action. This evening we're coming to you from the campus of Bernie High School in the Bernie High School Gymnasium, where the Mules are playing host to their Class 1 District 2 rival, the Clarkton Reindeer. Alongside my broadcast partner, Coach Gentry Vansel, I'm Philip Britt, ready to bring you all the action. Good evening, Coach. Welcome to another night of volleyball.
Hey, thanks, Philip. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here for this game between these two rivals for this Class 1 District 2, and it should be a great match.
Let's talk a little bit before we get into the teams themselves about Class 1 District 2. It's one of the more competitive Class 1 districts in the area. Bell City's moved into that district this year, so they were not in that district. They were in District 3 last year with Advance, so they've moved down to District 2. So it's Bell City and Bernie, Campbell and Clarkton, Gideon, Richland, and Risco. That's quite a group of teams. Gideon will be hosting that district this year. It's likely that we may well be covering the championship of that district or a couple of games in that district this year.
If I look at this district, I can also say this, that a lot of these teams are probably going to be split. There has been times when I've been down in this district that the top 5 teams all had beat or lost to each other, and everyone was tied.
Yep.
And we had a draw out of a hat.
It's going to be a challenge.
And that is what makes that district one of the tougher districts just to come out of in southeast Missouri.
Very competitive for sure. So it'll be fun to watch as it gets closer to postseason time. But let's talk about tonight's game. We've got two really kind of historic programs. They've, especially recently, they've both been very good. Bernie's been good for a long time. Clarkton was the district champions last year, won their sectional, and ended up losing to Advance in 4 last year in the quarterfinals to get to the Final Four. So what do you think about these two teams this evening?
Well, you look here at Bernie, we're over here looking at the wall. It's always impressive. I love coming to this gym just for that emphasis as well. They have paid their dues here in Bernie with volleyball, how important it is, and how they implement that here at the school as well.
Yeah, there are 5 photographs on the wall of state champion teams, so that's pretty impressive.
And I love this gym, even though the gym's a little small. The atmosphere here is always amazing, and things. Clarkton will have to come in here and not maybe having their home crowd as they are used to, or not as much of a home crowd, and play. The one thing I do feel that may hinder Bernie just a little bit, Clarkton has played all year with just one team. Mm-hmm. They are used to playing the first games at 5:30. For some of these girls on Bernie, this may be something for them to not get that JV set in, to kind of get their mind focused, and we'll see how that goes for Bernie tonight.
Yeah, that's a good point. We do have just one. Clarkton has just a varsity team this year, and so we're playing just one match. That's why we're starting a little earlier tonight. So Bernie comes in with a record of 8-5-1. They lost last year in the district tournament. In fact, they lost the last 2 years in the district tournament to Clarkton. Clarkton is the defending district champions, as I mentioned. They're 10-4. They're coming off a pretty good, for them, Dig for Life tournament last weekend, where they were able to beat Bell City, which was, I think, a big win for them because Bell City beat Bernie earlier in the season. You know, obviously that doesn't mean anything for tonight, but it is a common opponent. Both of them lost to Dexter last night for Bernie and in the Dig for Life for Clarkton. And then they both were able to sweep Richland in 3 sets. So they're, you know, tell me what you've coached teams in Dig for Life, and that's such a busy weekend, and a lot of volleyball gets played. So technically, these two teams, they played. This is their 4th match of the week for each of them, and they have. So Bernie, this will be their 10th match in the last 7 days, and for Clarkton, this will be their 9th match in the last 7 days, including those 2-set pool play matches. But you got to get up for those, and you got to. I mean, they're exhausting, and so tell me how that affects these two teams tonight.
So it's Friday. They're all worn out. I know that I think Clarkton, did they travel to Risco last night too? I know it's not that far. down the road. Same thing here for Bernie, was at home, but they've been traveling a lot.
Right.
It's just a hard week, and that's a long weekend with one day off, and then the next four nights you're here, or 3 nights you're here,
Right.
playing again. It does affect them, and especially if they've gone more than 3 sets with any team. And I know last night that Clarkton and Risco went 4 sets.
And so did Bernie and Dexter.
That's right. And so these girls' legs wear and tear. They still have homework. They still have school, and things are still going on.
Well, I can tell you I've done 3 games this week, and I've just sat here and talked, and I'm tired.
You're tired.
So, it's late nights, and it's, it's just the focus that it requires. And so we'll see how that affects these teams tonight.
Both of them look like they're up for this. They know what's at stake. These
Absolutely.
girls do.
I mean, it's very possible that what's at stake could be, a 2 versus 3 or a 1 versus 2 versus 3 in the district tournament. So we're going to take a quick break for the national anthem, and then we'll be back for the introduction of the teams, and we'll have a little bit to say about those players. So we'll be right back.
What First State Community Bank means to me is, it says it in its name, community.
We're family, we care about one another, whether it's in our SEMO markets or we can reach out to someone in Farmington, Columbia. They're always there to assist.
We are very customer focused. Our employees do a great job with listening to the customers.
The tellers know 100% of all customers by their name.
If you want to feel at home, then walk into the doors of First State Community Bank.
At Focus Bank, we understand your community because it's our community too. With branches across Southeast Missouri and Northeast Arkansas, Focus Bank offers services such as fraud protection, really free checking, and mobile banking that lets you bank simply and securely, anytime, anywhere. Stop by any of our branches or visit us online to open an account today. Plus, you'll receive an awesome free gift just from opening your really free checking account. And when you refer someone who opens an account, you'll both receive a gift. Focus Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And we're back. We've had the national anthem, and we're back ready for introductions. It's an exciting night of volleyball here. So for Clarkton, number 3, Nayli Rivera. Number 6, Alana Crowder. Number 7, Brinley Cowart. She's a setter. She's an all-state returning player. She's really solid. Angel Johnson, number 8. And then number 16, Bree Winchester. Bree Winchester and Brinley Cowart are cousins. They play together a lot. They really work well together. Riley Plunkett, and then Lexi Elizondo as the libero. So that's your Clarkton Reindeer. Here are your Bernie Mules starters. Number 10, Abby Powell. She's a senior. Number 12, McKaylin Kirkwood. She's a sophomore. Got several sophomores starting. Number 13, Blair Pleimling, also a sophomore. Number 23, Lexi Dillinger, and she's the setter, so we'll be watching her. Macy Botch, number 24. And number 26, Keely Powell. She's a junior. Those last 2 are juniors. So the libero is number 22, Riley Powell. So Bernie starts 1 senior. The rest are all sophomores and juniors. Clarkton starts 1 senior as well. The rest are sophomores, freshmen, and juniors. So both of these teams have a really good opportunity to bring back a lot of players next year as well. So we'll see how they do tonight. And we will get the action underway. So Clarkton's coming off a couple of 3 wins this week. They beat Malden and Risco last night. And so this has been a pretty good week for them. Bernie's won 2 games out of 3. They lost at Exeter last night. So we'll see if that has any effect on them tonight. Again, lots of games in the last week or so, since last Friday when that tournament in Cape started. And so we'll see how that affects them tonight.
And you want those games right now. You want those games to get things worked out. That's what you're looking for in that tournament, to get games. You want to win it, but mainly to get experience.
Well, and you also know that coming to the end of the season, when, once district starts, you're going to be playing every night. So you want to be in shape to play every night.
That's right. Clarkton has very nice new modern uniforms too, by the way.
They do.
That's the new style. A lot of colleges have gone to it. My daughter's college has as well.
I think it's interesting. They warm up in their long sleeve shirts and then take those off, and they have these interesting new uniforms. So Lexi Elizondo with the initial serve for Clarkton. Clarkton can't get the ball back over. A little bit of confusion on the return. So
found the tip. They found the hole.
Yep. Point for Bernie. So back to serve is McKaylin Kirkwood. Good serve. Bump set by Brinley Cowart. And called in. It was right on the line. That was a really good hit out here by Bree Winchester. She just rode back and fired into that ball. That was a nice set by Cowart, even though it was a bump set back over her head. So that's not an easy thing to do.
Cowart back to serve.
Set up to was Keely Powell with the hit that time. Nice play, nice attempt by Kirkwood that time. That ball was going to be right on the line, and she was, it's better to go after that one than let it fall in.
Right.
So Cowart back to serve again. Kirkwood watched that one go, and it was out. He called it out.
Called it out.
I think that was probably the right call, but he was very hesitant about it for sure.
A lot of pressure sometimes on them young line judges.
Absolutely.
Bless their hearts.
Absolutely.
Got Blair Plumley just served.
Right. Winchester again with the hit, but it was Keely Powell again with that hit, recovered. Kirkwood with a nice play on the defensive side. Free ball back over to Clarkton, set outside to Winchester. She saw the spot. She knew exactly where she wanted to put that ball down.
Oh, we got a net
they had
call.
somebody in the net. Okay, so the down referee saw the net call.
We had 16 and Winchester in the net. When she did that tip, she turned and probably got her body in the net.
Yep.
Now Bernie's, that's a break for Bernie right now.
Absolutely. So Kleinman back to serve again, and that was a really good play.
And in for Plumley is their libero, number 22, Riley Powell.
Right. So she's, I guess we've, okay, I thought we'd lost the ball, but I guess maybe we didn't. So, all right. Bree Winchester's back to serve. Picked up by the libero, Powell. Oh, bumped over into a nice spot. Played by Clarkton, but played out of the net, but could not get enough of a rebound to get it over. So, point for Bernie. They're up 4-3 now.
In for Bernie is Bailey Henry, a junior, outside hitter.
Lexi Dillinger back to serve now, and it was Angel Johnson with the hit across the middle, but returned easily, but right back over the net. That little tip was picked up well by Clarkton that time. And set outside to Bailey Henry, you just mentioned. Another tip, that time by Angel Johnson for Clarkton. Set up on the outside to Nayli Rivera. She's not very tall, but she gets up pretty well. Good dig by the defender in the back row that time.
What a save.
Oh, and then
off the hands of Angel Johnson.
Bailey Henry hit that off hands and out of bounds.
So I'm looking at this right now. These are long rallies. These are 6 passes or 6, whatever you want to call them, over the nets, rallies. If this game continues like this, it's going to make this for a long, harder game.
Absolutely. And we mentioned earlier they're already fairly tired probably from this week. So Bree Winchester with a little hit from the back row.
Clarkton seems to have an answer for it, though.
So far they do. Good action back and forth. Again, another long rally. Each team is really handling the ball very well. And down. Nice hit that time by Bailey Henry.
So what I'm seeing from these teams is that this third hit that they're sitting over, neither one of them is trying to give them a free ball.
Right.
Each team is attacking how we should, making it more difficult for the other team.
Even if the ball's off the net, they're still putting a little bit on it. They're not just tapping it back over the net.
That's right.
As Lexi Dillinger tried to do just that and get it back over, but she hit the top of the net with it. So that's a point for Clarkton.
Happens sometimes.
Sure. Elena Crowder back to serve for Clarkton. Not a good pass on the receive, but so Clarkton's playing it off the free ball. Not a good system play there. They were out of system completely, and Riley Plunkett tried to hit it back over, but hit it into the net. Johnson up, over the block, tipped it over the block and down. I think Bernie was expecting her to hit that into the block, and they were ready to cover it, but they weren't ready for the tip.
They weren't ready for that tip just right over the block. That was very well placed.
That was Nayli Rivera with the set. There's Henry again with the hit. This time Clarkton can't handle it.
Clarkton will have to take something off that ball when it's passed to him. They'll have to start absorbing this ball in order to get it off the net so the Cowart girl can do her job.
Cowart with a set to the middle that time to Johnson, and Johnson with a solid, strong hit that time off the block and down. Johnson back to serve now. Deep serve, too deep, and out of play.
I feel like this is back to Clarkton's one of their stronger rotations. Winchester's back in the front row.
Right.
They need to score points right now.
Bailey Henry back to serve for the Mules. Looked like a little bit of miscommunication between Elizondo and Rivera there. So ball went off them and out the back. So back to serve again is Bailey Henry. This time Elizondo takes it. Winchester didn't get the perfect set, so she ended up tipping it and not where she wanted to.
And we have a touch.
Got a touch at the net. Off the touch and out of bounds. So Coach Cowart for Clarkton's going to take a timeout. We'll take a timeout with them, and we'll be right back.
NextEra Energy Resources is the world's largest generator of renewable energy from the wind and sun, and a world leader in energy storage. Since 2016, NextEra Energy Resources has invested more than $339 million in Missouri to fuel local economic growth. Today, our company owns and operates one wind energy facility in the state and is looking to invest even more in the Show Me State. We are committed to being a trusted community partner and look forward to providing affordable, clean, renewable energy for generations of Missourians to come.
We're back here in at Bernie High School. The score is 11-6. Bernie leads. What do you see so far, Coach?
I see that right now Bernie is hitting the ball a lot more, maybe hitting the ball harder or hitting the ball down. And Clarkton right now is possibly struggling with maybe they're hitting it, but maybe just not to the down spot, hitting a good kill.
Seem to be a lot of little touches and not really going up and hitting those. Marie Winchester, that set was a little bit off, but she looked like she just wasn't, her timing was off a little bit. And she looks a little frustrated right now.
She does. And also the balls have not been passed. You see their Clarkton setter is running everywhere right now as well.
Right.
There's a perfect pass. There's a good pass.
So Winchester hit that one really well, but it was a little bit out, a little long. A good spot. I mean, that cross court where she was wanting to hit it, she just got under it a little bit and sailed on her. So Henry back to serve again. She served quite a few here in a row. Set to the outside to Kirkwood. Winchester didn't get a solid hit on that, but hit it to the right spot, and it was off hands and out of bounds. Lena Crowder back into the game for the Reindeer. Lexi Elizondo, libero, back to serve for Clarkton.
And Abby Powell is back in for Bernie.
Good serve receive. That was a good serve because that ball had a lot of movement on it. Nice backwards pass over her head for a set and played well. Clarkton seems to be back in system a little bit now. Good set to the outside to Kirkwood, who mishits it down the line. She just tried to be a little bit too much and cut it a little bit too much, hit it out of bounds.
I'm impressed right now with Bernie's setter. She is she's jump setting. It looks smooth. It looks easy, and it's not easy.
And putting it in a good spot for
Yes.
her hitters. Nice reaction that time for Clarkton by Lena Crowder in the front row. And a good hit from the outside for Kirkwood that time.
Elena Crowder is not the tallest girl on the team, but she is playing that middle spot. She can jump out of the gym, and kudos to her. I think she's doing this great job up there with her size. She's giving it all.
Kirkwood with the serve. Oh, got a net violation by Bernie that time. The pass was real tight on the net. Brenly Cowart went up to tip it over, and the Bernie player who went up to match her got into the net. So point for Clarkton. 14-9, Bernie leads. Cowart back to serve. Nice back set. Hit off the net by Plymling. I've seen Cowart serve for a couple of years, and she's got a pretty solid serve. She can do some damage with that serve. There's a lot of downward movement on it, and it's hard for teams to get that back. That ball, Bernie hit that ball over on the second hit, and Clarkton was there waiting for it.
You see Bernie is going to shift possibly.
Coach is giving them instruction. That ball had, we're sitting in a spot where we can see the movement on that ball, and that ball had a lot of movement. That was a hard ball to receive. Kirkwood played it as well as she could, but it was a tough play.
And Coach Cowart knew then too that had to be, we needed to keep that serve.
Yep.
And when that pass came over, just didn't happen.
She knew it wasn't going to be able to keep going. So Maylee Rivera with a little hit, set to the outside to Powell, and she gets a kill on it. So nice hit by Powell that time.
Clarkton's libero is back in, Lexi Elizondo.
Plymling back to serve for Bernie. And that ball is out.
This is what I like to see. We're sitting here, and to our right is the Bernie kids, and just on down, the Clarkton kids have finally decided to come alive as well.
They're all on their feet and excited about being here. Clarkton it looks like maybe they brought a bus with Pep Club on it, so that's good to see for these smaller schools. Good set to the outside to Johnson, who tips it. Good cover by Kirkwood that time. Little bump to Winchester out of the back row. Nice hit by her that time. She's solid out of the back row.
She is. The timing for the middles on those makes it all difficult, and she just got a touch on it, which caused chaos for her back row.
Absolutely sure did. Well, that was Powell, and she hit that ball.
Left-handed.
No, that was Macy Botch. I don't know if she hits left-handed, but she hit that ball pretty hard left-handed. So we'll watch and see if she hits left-handed next time, won't we? Because I hadn't paid attention to that, I don't believe. Nice dig that time by Powell, the libero. They got it back over. Great save. And Angel Johnson hits it into the net. What a great play that time by Bernie. They've got the momentum right now.
That's what we love about this sport. A great save. Clarkton had the chance. Needed to capture that point then.
Billinger with the that ball, she made it. That was a tough angle. That ball looked like it was going to go behind the antenna or hit the antenna, and she was able to get it around it. So Angel Johnson hits it out long this time. I get to get into the action. Ball came up here with us.
We got to touch it.
Absolutely. Billinger back again to serve. Picked up by Winchester. Set to Johnson in the front row and found the spot that she was looking for that time, right in front of Powell, the libero.
And most of the night, Johnson has been hitting cross court, and so Bernie has been cheating.
Sure.
It's what we do. And just caught him that time.
Well, and Johnson recognized that. She saw where they were going, and she used that to her advantage. So Powell with a cross court that time, picked up nicely, but back over the net. Oh, and that ball's in. Coach is not too happy. Coach Coward's not too happy with that play. She thought they should have known that ball was going to be in. So you got to know where you're at on the court, don't you?
They got sucked up just a little too far.
Yep. I don't know who 21 is, and I hate that. I don't have her on my roster, so she's played full rotation. So I don't know if she's generally on their junior varsity roster and is playing tonight. I don't know. I apologize to her and her family. Good hit that time by Bailey Henry back on the front row. She's a solid front row player. We've called her name several times tonight.
Clarkton is looking frustrated. Clarkton's middles are having a hard time. Bernie is mixing it up. They're going strong. They're going right side. They're going middle. They're just mixing up really good. And it's hard to key on just one person right now off of Bernie's team.
Bernie kind of won the race to 20 points. So that's the first milestone you want to get to, and then you get to try to get to 25, because we talked about that being kind of a mental number at 20 points. And so we'll see what happens for the next few points. Winchester, the ball off her hands and out the back. She just wasn't able to play that return. Timeout again for Clarkton. Let's stay here this time and talk a little bit about what we're seeing. One of the things I'm noticing, this gymnasium, though it's not made exactly like Clarkton's, the rafters are very similar.
Yes.
They're not much higher than the ones at Clarkton. So I don't think either team really has an advantage with that. Because they're both used to playing with a low ceiling. And sometimes you have to play balls off those rafters, and it's not always easy, especially if you're a team that comes in and isn't used to that.
That's right. The things that I'm seeing right now is Bernie is passing really to their setter really well right now, and Clarkton isn't passing bad. I just don't think they're passing as well when balls are hit. And they're having to struggle to get anything they can off of that as well.
All right. Well, they're breaking from the huddle.
And another thing I am want to mention right now, Bernie sees I think overall in general, Bernie sees a faster paced game. A little bit more than Clarkton does, even though Clarkton has a really good schedule.
Right.
I think Clarkton possibly is not seen as fast a pace as Bernie is giving it to him. And I know Bernie last night had to really play up to play Dexter and to take to Dexter to 4.
Right.
And that was hit out by number 5, I'm sorry, Bailey Henry.
Right, Henry.
She seems to be a really good tall block over there on that right side.
Yep. So Nayli Rivera back with a really good serve. Kirkwood was not able to handle that one. McKaylin Kirkwood. They've called her name quite a bit on defense. She's a solid back row player. She's really shown me a lot tonight.
And a sophomore.
Right. The Rivera back again. Another nice pass to the middle. Oh, actually, really good play by Elizondo that time, but hit into the net. Came off the top of the net and for 4 hits. So Riley Plunkett went up that time and could not get it over the net. So Riley Powell, the libero, back. Nice play that time by Cowart, chasing that ball down. But Bernie right on top of it again. That's Pleimling again. We've called her name quite a bit tonight as well.
I look at the Cowart setter right now. She's hustling her tail off out there.
She's having to work awfully hard, isn't she?
And then by the time she gets back, she's barely in place, and Bernie has yet again
hit the ball back over, right?
Yeah.
Well, that was a bit of a break there for Clarkton. That worked out well for them. So we'll see what they've got. Bree Winchester back in the front row. We'll see what that does for them for the next few points. Angel Johnson with a really nice serve that time. Kirkwood couldn't handle it, went off her hands and out of bounds. Oh, it's Angel Johnson back to serve again. Right back to Kirkwood, that time a little bit better pass.
A little collision there for Bernie.
Nice play by Winchester that time. She went up, the block was there. She used her left hand to put it over to the side.
If Bernie or if Clarkton gets to 20, this game changes.
Right.
You'll feel Bernie tighten up, maybe not hit as hard. We'll see what they do.
Angel Johnson again with the serve, right back to Kirkwood again. Nice play all around that time by, and the Raptor just came into the action, and Clarkton turns it over. So
game point.
Absolutely, set point, and we've got Henry back to serve. Nice pass that time, exactly what they were looking for Clarkton, but a really good play by Powell, libero that time, and able to put it away. So Bernie takes the first set, 25-19. So they beat them to 20 and they beat them to 25 tonight in this first set. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back in a few minutes for second set action here from the Bernie High School Gymnasium.
When we look, we listen. When we evaluate, we understand. We get you to the right number without treating you like one. At Southeast Primary Care, we know your relationship with your doctor is one of the keys to get you better and keep you well. Our network of providers connects you to the brightest minds and latest technologies. It's a healthy relationship. Southeast Primary Care, always by your side.
SEMO Health Network, we strive to provide caring and affordable health care while making our patients feel welcome in our warm and friendly atmosphere. With locations throughout Southeast Missouri, we provide medical, dental, OB, and behavioral health services to anyone and everyone that may need it. Visit SEMO Health Network for your wellness exams, COVID and flu vaccinations, lab services, dental exams, counseling, and more. For more information, visit our website and let SEMO Health Network take care of you.
Growing cotton in the Mid-South is hard work. As a farmer, you make tough decisions every day. Choosing a cotton variety shouldn't be one of them. Next-gen brand varieties from Americot are bred specifically for cotton growers like you. We're 100% independent and farmer-owned. Plant cotton that works as hard as you do. Americot. All we do is cotton, all the time.
Back here at the Bernie High School Gymnasium. Bernie took the first set, 25-19. We're back here for set number 2. We'll see if Clarkton can rebound or if Bernie can push ahead here in set number 2. McKaylin Kirkwood back to serve for Bernie. Winchester put that ball down really hard, right on the line. Beautiful hit. That's the answer that Clarkton has to have to what Bernie did in that first set.
It's a good way to start off this set. Set the tone.
Elizondo back to serve for Clarkton. Good pass, and then to the outside to Powell. Set to the middle, and did not get over the top of that ball at all. That was Elena Crowder in the middle. Wasn't a bad set, she just didn't get over it. She hit under it and hit it out. Leimling back to serve for Bernie. Nice block that time by Bernie in the middle. But Winchester goes right back at it, puts it right down in the back row. So, you know, it seems like she's come out with a little bit of a different attitude this second set. Winchester has. The other thing is, and I don't know what you think, but the passes to their setter, those first 3 plays have been so much better for Clarkton.
Yes, so much
better. The setter
better.
hasn't had to run anywhere to get them, and as a result, the sets have been right on point. And that was hit out by Bernie, so Clarkton on a little bit of a run.
That's right, and Clarkton knows, I mean, they know Winchester's one of their stronger hitters, and they need to use her right now as much as possible while she's in that front row if they want to score some more points.
Right. Powell again, that ball out, no touch that time. So they've got Coward back serving, and again, we know that Coward is probably their best server as well as their setter. And, she barely got that one over the net. So, Coach, back when you played, that would have been side out to the other team, wouldn't it?
Yes. And you know what? You hate those balls. You love them when it happens to you, and you hate them when it happens, you know.
Well, and that was a fraction of an inch from falling back on Clarkton's side versus rolling over to Bernie's side. So, well, that was botch again, and she hit that left-handed again. So I believe she hits that way. Okay, so Bernie calls timeout. They're down 6-1. Good time for a timeout. She's hoping that she can slow down Brinley Cowart's serve. We'll take a quick timeout and be right back.
Julep, julep, julep.
If Borland's not on the back of your vehicle, you paid too much.
And we're back here at the Bernie High School Gymnasium. Bernie called that timeout. Again, as I mentioned, hoping to slow down the momentum that Clarkton had picked up. Had Brinley Cowart back serving. She's their best server. And so we'll see how Clarkton comes out and how Bernie reacts after a timeout.
Clarkton has taken control of this second set.
Cowart with a deep serve that time. She just served 2 that were short and then came back with a long serve, and I don't know that Bernie was expecting that. And by the way, you just saw a player kick the ball. That is legal. I mean, she didn't kick it to anybody, so it wasn't a good play, but she couldn't get to it with her hands. Again, that time the serve was to Kirkwood and off her and out of bounds. So coach has given some instruction to her back row players, hoping that she can get a better pass out of them this next play. And that ball was off of Powell's hands and out of bounds.
She knew it as soon as she did it.
She did. I'm not sure that ball was going to be out.
I don't know either. I think it was.
So I think she was questioning herself, and that's one of those where you can't question yourself. But that ball was coming pretty hard at her. So Cowart with another really good serve to the back.
It was a better pass from Bernie that time.
It was. A free ball back over. Winchester with the hit. Cowart sets it to the outside to Rivera. It was a good pass until it hit the rafter that time. but Clarkton's able to pick it up. Elizondo bumps that out to Winchester, who doesn't give him a free ball. She hits it over. Nice attempt by Kirkwood that time. Winchester clearly thought she had a wide open spot. Kirkwood covered the block, but wasn't able to get the ball.
It's getting better. Winchester and Angel Johnson, has been doing that all night long. And they have either seen film on Bernie and practiced that a little bit. It's a good spot.
That was a tough pass. It went to the net. Clearly the setter couldn't do anything with it for.
The score is now 11-1 Clarkton.
It's a big run.
If Bernie does happen to come from this, it's going to take a lot to come back.
And I think 8 of those points have come on serves by Brinley Cowart. So. And I guess that was touched by Winchester because it looked like she hit it twice, but I guess Winchester touched it on the first hit. So
such a height battle between the Botch girl and Winchester.
Winchester's pretty tall in
yes.
their front row. Cowart may have gotten a little tired there, hit that one into the net. A lot of serves, I think maybe 8 serves there. So that was a good run for Clarkton. They're still up 10 points right now, and that's a big advantage right now.
I love to watch Cowart play. You can tell she is into it. She is in this game. She doesn't show a whole lot, but you can tell.
Winchester that time hitting from the right side, and Cowart put it right on the net. It was a nice location.
Winchester will also come here with a pretty tough serve now.
She does. And it was a good serve. First hit was good, second was a lift. Didn't matter, it was going to land on their side of the court anyway, but.
So this is one of the things I hate about girls in volleyball. You never know in that second set. We play the first set, and the second set would come out, and it doesn't even look like the team.
Looks like a different game, doesn't it?
It does. It seems like everything we touch doesn't happen for us. So we're going to get another timeout here for Bernie right now.
Yeah, coach
she is frustrated.
Coach is going to use her second timeout, and we'll see what happens after this timeout. Let's go ahead and take a break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Bernie High School Gymnasium. Clarkton is has taken a 15-2 lead here in the second set after Bernie won the first set, 25-19. So it's a tale of 2 sets, so to speak.
And Bernie's coach is using her full minute up to the
and a little extra
plus some.
So she had a lot to say to them during that timeout. She knew she needed to make some changes. That's her last time out of this set.
She is shaking her head right now.
There's a lot of time left in this set too. So Powell with the hit, and it's going to be
out.
Yep. Clarkton player was going after that ball. That was Rivera. She did push the scorer's table back a couple feet, but I think it was I think where she was trying to reach over and hit it was actually past the net. So I think she was. And a couple of substitutions here for Bernie.
We have Kirkwood back in, hitting front row.
So nice serve for Bernie. Elizondo picks it up. Angel Johnson, her timing was off, but she was able to tip that ball to where she needed it to be. Location was right that time.
I think Bernie's number 5, her timing was off as well.
Yes.
Just a little bit. Threw them all both off.
So, and front row attack. Or back row attack. Oh, wait.
It's back row attack.
Yeah, but Who did she call that on?
She called him a setter. Bernie's Lexi Dillinger.
22.
Who has done an amazing job,
yeah.
too, as a sophomore.
You're right.
Beautiful hands.
Winchester with the hit back over. Tough pass. Played well. Angel Johnson up, off the block and down. She actually went up and hit that ball pretty hard. She's been tipping a lot of balls, and that one she hit through the block.
This score has really showed some frustration.
Bernie's really struggling right now, and
Clarkton is not.
You can see the momentum change here. Lena Crowder back to serve again for Clarkton.
Clarkton actually looks like they have some life in them right now, like they have their legs back.
And a good location that time. Bailey Henry, she's played pretty well in that front row for them tonight. At this point, Bernie's just trying to salvage something from this game. It's going to be almost impossible for them to come back 15 points, but they want to salvage something. They want to have some momentum going into the next set. Ball went right under our table and flying to the back, so we didn't catch that one. That's because it was on Coach Vansville's side and not mine.
I don't.
So Powell back to serve for Bernie. Picked up, hit to the middle. Johnson that time tipped a little bit and hit it off the net. Not over. So
she was aiming to her right side. She saw it. It just didn't happen for her.
Riley Powell back to serve again, and that ball not played well by Clarkton. Powell's serve is pretty effective right now. And whether Bernie comes back and wins this set or not, they've certainly, at least the last couple of points, turned some things around. And there's another point hit down into that back corner by Bailey Henry again.
And I mentioned that, I think, on Tuesday night, that it is so hard for that block to pull that side. It's just not what we're used to. And they are really using that. There was no block there.
Nice pick up that time by Bernie. Little tip.
By number 21.
And hit back over by Riley Plunkett that time. So Bernie's really got the momentum going now. Coach Coward's trying to find somebody that can make something happen. She's bringing in Miranda Hernandez, number 9, in the front row. Riley Powell back to serve again. Oh! Bailey Henry was in the way that time. She didn't mean to be, but she was standing there and unfortunately got hit in the head with the ball. Point for Clarkton. Clarkton's got hit that magic 20 number. Again, though, I think Bernie has shown something the last 3 or 4 points. Set to the middle to Kirkwood.
Very
nice
smart play.
She saw the middle was clogged up and the side was not, so she put the ball right where no one was playing.
Clarkton needs to get out of this rotation to get Winchester back on the front row.
Right. Kaylee Youngblood back into the game for Clarkton. Henry back to serve for Bernie. Set to the outside to Angel Johnson. To the right side. Nice hit. You know, both of those young ladies, Johnson and Winchester both, they normally play on the outside or in the middle, but they've both been really effective hitting the ball from the right side.
Off of that service receive, it's a smart play.
Yep. And I think part of it is Bernie isn't expecting it to come from there. So
there's a row shot.
Nice pass across to Plunkett. Plunkett hits it and picked up by Bernie. Kirkwood hits it back over. Set to the middle to Winchester, who finds a spot. She found the spot again. She's been very much more effective in this second set than she was in the first set. And a lot of that, again, has to do with the initial pass off the serve receive or off the. And Angel Johnson hit that serve out. So it's 22-11. Clarkton's margin is 11 points at this point. Kirkwood back to serve for Bernie. Elizondo with the pass to Cowart to Winchester. Good pickup that time by Riley Powell. Oh, and that was a touch off of Johnson's hands. That ball was probably going to be out. She tried to get her hands back, but she just couldn't do it. So coach is disappointed with that, but you got to put that behind you and be ready for the next one, right?
That's right.
Pass to serve to the middle. Pass over the net, and Lexi Dillinger standing there waiting for it. Another one of those.
She jumps well.
She does. Another one of those balls where your eyes just kind of light up when the ball comes back across the net like that. Johnson hit that one over the net and set to the middle. Clarkton with the set to the middle to Winchester, who hammers it down. Kirkwood made the play on it, but the ball came off really fast and not able to be handled by anybody else.
The score really hasn't seemed to affect Bernie with it being 22, 23 at 20. They're still playing.
Yeah, it would have been easy for them to say, you know what, let's just start the next set. Let's just give it up and start the next set, but they didn't. They played through, and that's what I mentioned that, you know, even though I didn't know that they could come back from 15 points down earlier, they certainly have shown Coach something in this last half of this second set. And that's out. Served out. So climbing back to serve for Bernie. Still set point. Picked up, not a good pass that time by Angel Johnson. A big serve by Plymlin. Another set point. So to the middle, Johnson with a better pass that time, right to Cowart. With the block that time, Bree Winchester went up to tip it, and the block was there, and she tipped it right into the block. Timeout. Coach Cowart wants to talk this over. So we'll give her a chance to talk it over while we pay a few bills, and then we'll be back.
Does your business need literally anything? When we founded C&S Cleaning Supply, our goal was simple. Become a one-stop shop for anything and everything your operation might want. From car care to condiments, mops to markers, soaps to staplers, and everything in between. Which is a lot. C&S has got you covered. Give Delane Beckwith a call at 573-217-0104 or visit cscleaningsupply.com to get set up with, well, literally everything. Tell them Delane sent you.
We're back inside the Bernie High School Gymnasium. We have, to reset things, Bernie won the first set 25-19. This set, Clarkton is up 24-16. Bernie back to serve, Plymling back to serve, and another set point for Clarkton. Good hit that time by Winchester, but picked up by Clarkton very well. Picked up and out, so Clarkton was able to pick that up off the block, cover the block, but
these Clarkton girls follow that ball. They are reacting to everything, and I love it.
Bernie making a little run here, 24-17. They've cut the lead from 11 down to 7. So Winchester hits it off the tape and over.
Clarkton needs
Free
to
ball
use
back.
this free
They
ball.
should take it right. And Winchester hits it hard, but picked up on the back row by Abby Powell. Again, outside to Winchester. That time, too much for Powell to handle, and that's the second set. So Clarkton wins the second set, 25-17. Like two different sets. So we'll see what happens in set number 3. Stay tuned. We'll be back after these messages.
We're for agriculture. For growers, doers, whatever it takers. We're for doing things with purpose. We're for the little guy with big guy dreams. We're for agriculture. We're for you. Nutrien Ag Solutions, leading the field.
Young Real Estate, we're Southeast Missouri, just like you.
We are parents.
We are teachers.
We are grandparents.
We are active in our community.
We are patriots.
Serving all of Southeast Missouri, and we are here for you.
We are young.
Welcome back. We are inside the Bernie High School Gymnasium. We're all tied up, 1-1. The Bernie Mules won the first set. The Clarkton Reindeer won the second set. So here we are, set number 3 in this best-of-5 matchup tonight.
I don't know who serves first, to be honest with you. I can't remember who served first in the first game. Bernie is going to be hoping and needing a better service receive, especially right off the bat. And Clarkton is going to be hoping that we continue to set it to our go-to hitters. Winchester, well, like we said over break, we wish we had some stats.
Right.
Didn't know how many kills that she had that game, and the Johnson girl, but would love to have some stats. Bernie off with the first serve, but not Bernie, I'm sorry, Clarkton off with the first serve, but Bernie did answer to it.
Winchester with a good solid hit, but picked up by Keely Powell that time. This time set to the middle for Clarkton to Elena Crowder. Again, good defense by Bernie. Winchester on the outside again. Picked up by Bernie. Nice play, nice save by Bernie that time. Tell you what, Bernie doesn't let a whole lot of balls hit the floor. As soon as I say that, Brinley Coward finds the spot where they're not playing. So, you know, they cover the ground. They do a good job. And Bernie's known for that. Bernie, you know, you look around, you see a lot of the teams that are really quality teams, and they're known for their defense. They're going to make you beat them. They're not going to make a lot of mistakes. And so,
Brinley Winchester did what Brinley Winchester should have done.
Absolutely.
It was too many back and forth, and I was even back here waiting for her to set it.
Yep.
And
she did what an all-state setter should do. She found a spot. So she put that ball right out to Bree Winchester, and Bree just cut it a little bit too much, tried to be too fine down the line and hit it out of bounds.
But I also have known here, Bernie has also screwed their defense over for that.
So Kirkwood serves, and Cowart trying to set that, but it was really close to the net, and there wasn't much she could do with it. Good passes are important right now.
That's right.
Cowart's having to chase that ball down. This looks a little bit more, first few points have looked a little bit more like the first set for Clarkton than the second set. Winchester, even though it wasn't a good set, she still put a little bit of mustard on it. Bernie's got the answer right now for Clarkton. That was just mishit by Lexi Dillinger. She was going up to hit that ball over and just mishit it. Sometimes that happens. So now's where Clarkton hopes to take advantage. We've got Brinley Cowart in the back, and her first serve she hits out. So,
uncharacteristic.
Yep.
And she knows it too.
She's not happy with herself at all.
I do think this. I do think that Bernie's middles and Clarkton's middles are matched pretty well. I don't think one is taller than the other one
Right.
to have a height advantage. And sometimes in these small schools, you may have something like that.
Right.
And right now, they are very well matched.
A lot of miscommunication that time for Clarkton. Botch with a hit out of the middle.
Good left.
Outside to Powell. Set to Winchester, and she finds the spot. So Brinley Cowart finds her cousin, Bree Winchester, on the outside, and she puts it down. So Winchester back to serve now for Clarkton. Tipped over, picked up by Brinley Cowart. Bump set to Angel Johnson. And Bernie was a little bit confused, I think. One of the front row player actually got turned completely around. Macy Botch got turned around that time and wasn't able to handle the ball. So Winchester with another good serve. Picked up, pass to Cowart. Nelly Rivera on the outside that time. Good defense by Bernie again.
A lot of one-arm saves.
Sure are. Angel Johnson off the hands of the block and out of bounds for another point for Clarkton. This is a really nice back and forth right now.
It is. Matter of fact, I'm getting just caught up.
You're sitting here watching, aren't you?
I'm just watching. I'm letting you talk. I'm like, that's right.
There was a little bit of communication issue there as well.
I think
the setter couldn't quite get to it and
just waited too late to say she could get to it.
So that was hit, served long by Bree Winchester. Got me into the action again. So Lexi Dillinger, the setter for Bernie, back to serve. Winchester with the pickup, outside set to Johnson. Another good play by Kirkwood. She's solid on that back row. I tell you, a lot of this set so far, she's been pretty solid. Her passes have been good.
She struggled the first set, I think.
And a little bit in that second set, but she's found her way, I think. And
she's learning that
Winchester
defense.
hitting out of the back row, off the block, and out of bounds for another point for Clarkton. I was going to mention that on that serve that we're in an odd place as we're behind the server, but she was really close to that service line on that last serve, so there's going to be something to watch, but she doesn't get another serve. So Elena Crowder with an unforced error there for Clarkton on the serve, hit it into the net. Well, we do now know, and I apologize to Mackenzie Meese's parents, her mom especially, who I know, Brandy Gohagen, so I apologize to her for not knowing who Mackenzie was earlier in the game. Good hit that time by Kirkwood and out off the hands of Clarkton, off the back wall. So Meese back to serve again for Bernie.
And she has done a really good job in this back row.
Yes. And Johnson out of the middle that time. Good set. Good pickup before. I mean, that was, Bernie hit it right back over the net, and so Clarkton was able to essentially get 6 hits out of 7, and they took advantage of it that time. Rivera back to serve, hits it long. So those serves into the net, serves long, or will drive a coach crazy, won't they, Coach?
Macy Botch comes out, and I will say this, she is a left-handed middle, and those are harder to read and to look at.
Yeah, and you wonder if they take advantage of that as much as they could. Good try by Powell Barrow. She chases a lot of balls down, but that time she just couldn't get it back into play.
It's a tying game. It's 8-9. Clarkton is up, and Clarkton wants this rotation to stay put right here.
This is where they want to make some points with Bree Winchester in the front row. Angel Johnson with a very effective serve the last couple of serves. So.
And I typically tell my or I did typically tell my servers, try not to serve it to the libero. She's usually the one that
she's wearing that different color shirt for a reason.
Avoid her at all possible. And they have nailed her 3 times.
Sure have. Well, that's, you know, we're back here again. We're behind the play, behind the Bernie end of the court, and we can see there's a lot of movement on that ball when Angel Johnson serves, and those balls are not easy to pick up. Misi with a good receive that time. Kirkwood with a good hit out of the middle. And not a bad set, but not able to be hit over by Riley Plunkett that time.
And I'm just now noticing Riley Plunkett, she's a freshman.
She is.
That's it's some promises here for Clarkton coming up.
Absolutely. They've got a lot of young players that, you know, obviously Bree Winchester is you know, probably their best hitter, and she's a senior. But besides her, they're really playing with a lot of underclassmen. So Winchester with a very smart tip that time. And their leader is Brinley Cowart, but she's been their leader for the last 3 years. This is her 3rd year starting as their setter. By the way, she surpassed 2,000 assists this past weekend at Dig for Life. So I meant to text Coach Cowart today and find out exactly how many she had coming into tonight, but she's added quite a few to that number tonight. So she's already the Clarkton record holder, not even midway through her junior season. Right. So
congratulations to her. Looking forward to seeing some better ball out of her, even rest of this year and next year.
Absolutely.
We call the coaches' kids. We used to call them gym rats.
There you go.
Because they grew up in the gym. And I know she did.
And a lot of times they're like having another coach on the court, you know, especially if she's your setter like Brinley is. She kind of controls the offense and she keeps people settled. And again, nice set, nice hit from Winchester that time. Picked up by Powell, but not able to be handled by Bernie. Pass was a little tight on the net on that one, but she was just happy to get it up, I think, because that ball was hit pretty hard.
But Coach Bernie here, Coach Vernum has shifted her defense completely to cover that line shot, and she did her job.
Rivera hit the cross court that time for Clarkton. She's not the tallest player out there, but you know she plays pretty well in that front row.
She does.
The substitution for Bernie. I was trying to figure out what was going on. I thought it was the referee, but it was actually the player that wasn't sure she was coming out. So Carrie Botch into the game now.
Something's wrong. I think setter may be injured right now.
It looks like they've got they're calling for attention from someone to come check her out. I think you're right.
So Bernie's new setter.
That
might cause a little bit of trouble.
It could be a challenge because right now she's been solid all evening.
So Abby Powell, her senior, is going to be setting right now.
And that changes up your whole offense. It changes up your whole strategy when especially when somebody, you know, because she sets all the way around. It's not like one of those situations we saw like in Kennett the other day where were running the 6-2 and they had 2 setters. Winchester, that ball didn't clear the net. Looked like Winchester hit it, but apparently it didn't clear the net, so that was 4 hits. So we'll see if Bernie can rally around this new setter with their setter Dillinger on the bench being attended to.
That was quite a dig out of Bernie.
Absolutely, it's hard to pull that off the net.
And now Clarkton's
there's Winchester putting that ball down. Timeout, Bernie. They're going to talk it over, see if she can give some encouragement to her team. And we'll take a break. We'll be right back after this message.
What First State Community Bank means to me is, it says it in its name, community.
We're family, we care about one another, whether it's in our SEMO markets or we can reach out to someone in Farmington, Columbia. They're always there to assist.
We are very customer focused. Our employees do a great job with listening to the customers
The tellers know 100% of all customers by their name.
If you want to feel at home, then walk into the doors of First State Community Bank.
Well, resetting where we're at back here at the Bernie High School. Clarkton is ahead in set number 3, 17-10. Bernie won set number 1, 25-19. Clarkton won the second set, 25-17, and they lead here 17-10. We just mentioned that Lexi Dillinger is out. She's their setter. She's been playing well. She does have tape on her left knee that I hadn't really noticed earlier. She had her knee pad on it, and it looked like she was limping earlier. So that may be an ankle or a knee injury. So we'll keep an eye on her. They've gone to get some ice for it. So we'll see how that affects the momentum of this Bernie Mules team.
It could also be due to the many games that she has played this week and over the weekend.
And being the sole setter in most of those games, that's a challenge. So nice set there by Abby Powell to the back row, and Kirkwood hit it pretty solid from the back row. Winchester hit it into the block and down. So Bernie would get their block up that time. Looked nice.
That was a good block for Carrie Botch.
Yep.
And she had some energy after that, you could tell.
And that does get a front row player up when they can block somebody, especially when you block the other team's best hitters. So good tip, but picked up by Bernie. And the battle at the net won by Macy Botch that time.
Both Botch girls are in front row, side by side.
Right.
That's an interesting, neat thing to see.
Yep. Clarkton seems a little out of sorts right now. Out of that timeout, they haven't really put anything together, so we'll see what happens here.
They just need to calm down and make a good pass set hit.
Absolutely. Plymling back to serving. That's not the way to do it. Elizondo was uncertain. That was one of those in-between hits. It was a little bit not high enough to set it, but not low enough to pass it, and so she tried to play it up and hit the ball. So timeout by Clarkton. She wasn't going to let it go very long before she called this timeout. So let's go ahead and take a quick break. We'll be back to talk about this set.
Cold beer, pork steak, fast break, the best chicken in the whole state. Fast break, whoop doggies, I think I need a fast break. All right.
Fast Break in Bernie, Missouri. Fresh food, lottery, gas, and more.
Fast break.
And we're back inside the Bernie High School gymnasium. Bernie on a little bit of a run here in set number 3. Clarkton still up 18-14. Coach Cowart called that timeout to kind of get her troops regrouped, and they actually come out of the break, out of the huddle, laughing a little bit. So she may have tried to settle them down a little bit, get them relaxed again. So we'll see how they react to following that timeout. Well, they did exactly what she asked them to do and succeeded in the point. So Winchester back to serve and served it long. Another unforced service error that time by Clarkton. You know, not too uncharacteristic service errors by their two better servers in the last little bit. So a bit of a challenge for them right now to see where they can get points from. Tatum Anthony back to serve for Bernie. Set to the outside. Kirkwood again with the pickup of the Elena Crowder hit. Angel Johnson with the hit off the block and back. Nice block that time. Was that Botch again that time with the block?
It was.
She gets up pretty well in the front row.
She does.
She's got a little bit of height to her, but not a lot, and she was able to get up pretty high there.
She jumps well.
Yep. Angel Johnson with the hit. Played well by Powell in the back row. Keeley Powell that time with a hit. Oh, and Angel Johnson that time hits it off the block and down. 20-16. So Clarkton won the race to 20. We'll see who wins the race to 25, which is the only one that really matters.
I was glad to see that time when Brindley Cowart had to take the pass off the first, and that Clarkton, they got something off of it. When the setter has to take the first pass, sometimes they struggle.
Right.
And it was very nice to see Clarkton to do that and get their point from it. 21-16, Clarkton.
Crowder with the serve again for Clarkton. Set to the middle to Keely Powell, and she hit it off the tape and down. And so Clarkton with another point, 22-16 at this point. Coach Cowart giving instruction to her front row players. Winchester hits it over. Kirkwood there again. Little touch that time, and Winchester picked it up. Angel Johnson with a hit, and nice play. Defenders just could not get to it on the back row for Bernie. 23-16 Clarkton now. Elena Crowder has been really solid on those last few serves. Her serves have been good. Shouldn't have said that. I guess I jinxed her. That's my fault. Sorry about that, Miss Crowder. Didn't mean to mess you up there. Mackenzie Meesey back in to serve for Bernie. Good serve from her, picked up by Elizondo. Set to the middle to Angel Johnson. Nice pass and hit by Botch that time. Couldn't be picked up by Clarkton. Good hit out of the middle.
That was. And Brindley went for it, just didn't happen. She knew it, she could read it.
Anytime you mentioned earlier, lefties are sometimes hard to read out of the middle or anywhere they're hitting for that matter. But Brindley Cowart with a really good idea. She thought she had the spot. She was just very disappointed in herself because she pushed it a little bit too hard and out. Meesey with another good serve. Her serve has looked good tonight. I said that before, after she served, because I didn't want to mess her up like I did Miss Crowder for Clarkton. Oh, nice play that time by Kirkwood. That was just reaction.
That's it.
That time, Rivera with the serve from the outside, off the block and out of bounds, off hands. And so set point again here for Clarkton to go up 2-1 if they can finish this set out. Coach Cowart brings Miranda Hernandez back in to serve here. And she serves, good serve in, and Kirkwood hits it hard and picked up by Clarkton, but not able to be handled. Good placement that time by Kirkwood, and good pace on that hit.
Pace. And the one thing is, Bernie they haven't let up. They're still fighting.
Well, you never know when something like your leader goes out, your setter goes out, and again, 24-21 now. Powell is one of their better servers back here, Riley Powell, the libero, so we'll see if she can continue that. And she does, another nice serve. And her serves go to different places. Brenda Cowart, I think, thought she had a spot to put that ball down. Nayli Rivera back into the game for Clarkton on the back row. Riley Powell with another good serve. Set up, Angel Johnson finds a spot off the block. Almost a collision there by a couple of Bernie players, but that's 25-22. That's set number 3 in the book. So we'll be back. Clarkton now leads 2-1. We'll be back with 4th set action here from Bernie High School Gymnasium.
At Focus Bank, we understand your community because it's our community too. With branches across Southeast Missouri and Northeast Arkansas, Focus Bank offers services such as fraud protection, really free checking, and mobile banking that lets you bank simply and securely, anytime, anywhere. Stop by any of our branches or visit us online to open an account today. Plus, you'll receive an awesome free gift just from opening your really free checking account. And when you refer someone who opens an account, you'll both receive a gift. Focus Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
welcome back to the Bernie High School Gymnasium. I want to give you a little heads up about what's going on tonight. This is the first game of a doubleheader tonight here on Aycorp Sports. We have the volleyball game, which you're watching right now, and then following that at 7 o'clock, and maybe not following, maybe coming in and we'll join it in progress, but is a football game from Kennett, where Kennett hosts Caruthersville. So we're excited about that. Pimlico-Dunklin Fiber 95 will be on that from the beginning. They'll see, if you're watching us now, you'll see the football game in its entirety. The rest of you, if you're watching us on Sparklight or CMO 95, you will pick that up immediately upon the completion of our match tonight here at Bernie. We're excited about this. This is the first time we've done a volleyball-football doubleheader. Next week, we've had a full week this week. We've had 3 volleyball games and a football game. We're going to do the same thing next week here on Aycorp Sports. We're going to have Monday night, we're going to have Gideon hosting the defending Class 1 state champion Advanced Hornets. Coach Vansel and I will be there for that game. Tuesday evening, we'll go to Portageville, where Jim Riker and Coach Vansel will have the Bulldogs, really solid team this year, hosting the Caruthersville Tigers. And then on Wednesday, Jim Riker will be back in the play-by-play seat with Coach Steve Beidler as we travel to Sykeston to watch Sykeston and Dexter play. And then Friday night, we'll be back in Portageville for football, where the Bulldogs, who are one of the best teams in Southeast Missouri this year, will be hosting the Charleston Blue Jays. So we've got a really busy schedule. Exciting. I'm so excited that we've been able to add a full schedule of volleyball to our football fall schedule this year. So glad to have you on board too, Coach Vansel, to help us bring the action to everybody.
Well, I'm thankful to be here, and I enjoy it so much.
So we're back. Clarkton is already out of their huddle, and they're ready to go. Bernie's still getting some instruction from the coach, and they're down 2-1. Clarkton's up 2-1 right now, having lost the first set, but then won the next two, 25-19. Bernie won the first set, and then Clarkton won 25-17 and 25-21. All 3 very competitive sets. Let's see how Bernie comes out here. They have lost their setter. Dillinger, Lexi Dillinger, who was their setter, is out. She's been replaced as a setter by Abby Powell. So Clarkton starts off with a hit by Bree Winchester, but she hits it long. She didn't snap that ball through very well and just hit it flat, hit it out. So first point goes to Bernie. Kirkwood back to serve, second serve. Angel Johnson with the receive, will bump set to Winchester and put down. You know, that was a little touch right in the right spot, but hey, it looks like a kill. Looks like a really hard hit in the books.
So for Bernie, with their setters out right now, they run a different setter. They may not have practiced it as much. People are on the floor at different times, different spots, and just not maybe the norm that they are used to. Not that number 10, Abby Powell, cannot do this job at all.
Right. But you're right. She's the second setter most of the time, and she doesn't get as many reps in practice or in games for that matter. So.
And then people are just not in the same positions as they were.
So there's a nice back set that time to Bailey Henry. And I guess someone was in the net that time. So
it was a solid hit.
It was. It didn't matter that they were in the net. She put that ball down. So.
And Macy Botch is in the middle now.
Yep. And that was a really nice set too. That was an easy set to put it right in that spot. So that was a nice set to see from Powell. Maybe that'll give her even more confidence in what she's doing. Cowart to Winchester. We've said that quite a few times tonight. Powell with the set outside to Keely Powell. There are 3 Powells on this team. I don't know if they're sisters or cousins or even if they're related at all, but there are 3 of them, and they've all been, we've called each of their names tonight in different capacities. So Brenda Coward with another unforced service error. She's very upset with herself. She's going to have to shake that off, or it could be an issue for her. Bailey Henry back to serve. Elizondo with the receive. Coward has to chase it down. Elizondo hits it out of the back row. Pass outside to Keely Powell. Winchester with the touch. Back outside to Keely Powell again. Nice hit that time off the top of the net, but on to Clarkton's side, and Winchester couldn't handle it.
That was a strong cut. That's what we call a hard cut.
It was a tough angle, but she made it work. Bailey Henry back to serve again for the Bernie Mules. Set outside to Rivera. Picked up by Powell in the back row. The libero Powell hit over the net on the pass, and Winchester was there to just kind of tap it straight down.
So Clarkton this set has come out. They are passing a lot better. They're, Brindley has only had to run around maybe one time. Everything else seems to be a little bit better on the passing.
Good serve that time by Bree Winchester right at Kirkwood at an odd place. It was high, and she did not play it very well. Had a lot of pace on it as well, and much better pass that time. She was prepared for that one. Keely Powell with the hit. Brindley Coward got after that ball, got to it, but just couldn't get it back into the court. You know, she's pretty effective with that one-handed return. She goes after a ball and hits it back with one hand, and pretty effective with it, but not that time. Mackenzie Nisi back into the game to serve. Angel Johnson on the outside, hits it, and down on the Bernie side. It hit the top of the net, and I think that Bernie wasn't expecting that.
The net was her friend, as we call it.
It's not always, but it was that time. Lena Crowder back to serve for Clarkton. Nice serve. Difficult to be, well, it was difficult to handle for Tatum Anthony in the back row for Bernie. Kaylee Youngblood back in for Clarkton in the front row. Another good serve, that time handled a little better by Anthony, but Powell had to chase after it. That's one of those that would have been better off if Angel Johnson had not tipped that ball on the block.
Yes.
Powell back to serve again. That's Riley Powell. Set to the middle to Angel Johnson. I don't know if they thought that was out or not. They both opened up, and it was in quite a ways.
I think they both thought the other one had it.
Yep, they both opened up, but that ball hit in quite a ways, and so that's frustrating for both of them as well. I know that it's frustrating when you let one hit in like that. Riley Plunkett with the serve, served it out.
Clarkton has missed at least 2 serves this set. In a close match like this, 2 missed serves
can make the difference.
Can make, yes.
Nayli Rivera back in for Clarkton. Bailey Henry back in for Bernie. That was, pardon me, Plumling hit that ball down. Receive was hit back over the net. She almost held on to it a little too long, but they didn't call it on her. So I mean, if you can get away with it, it's not a violation if the referee doesn't call it. So another point for the Bernie Mules. They're now lead 9-8. They took the lead again and now lead 9-8. Abby Powell, the setter, back to serve again.
And she has served short the last 2 times, and it has been a struggle for Clarkton to get too much off of that.
Yep. And then a nice spot for Kirkwood. She saw that front open and set it into that spot. So.
And Bernie right now is just being just a little bit smarter, or being, I guess, maybe more picky about where they're wanting to go.
Right. So Hernandez back into the game for Kaylee Youngblood on the front row. Coward hit that one over.
Tied on the net.
Got into the net. Oh, she got under, I guess. She didn't get into the net. She got under the line. That was,
going after
that
the
was
ball.
Bailey Henry again. She hit the ball, but she just couldn't stop her momentum. Angel Johnson back to serve now for Clarkton. Picked up by Meese in the back row. Set outside to Henry. Pass was over the net. Nice save by Clarkton. Brinley Cowart with put some curve on that ball. But there's Henry pounding the ball down. Clarkton was a little out of position from having to chase that last ball down in the rally and ended up not being able to play it.
The smart move on Bernie's setter to do that as well. Here's Clarkton's strongest rotation, we think.
Kirkwood's back to serve. Elizondo with the, she was in the net. Brinley Cowart was in the net, so that ball was set really, or passed really close to the net. She tried to set it and ended up getting into the net. So Clarkton calls timeout. Coach Cowart's going to try to get them regrouped, and we'll see how they come out of the timeout. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
NextEra Energy Resources is the world's largest generator of renewable energy from the wind and sun, and a world leader in energy storage. Since 2016, NextEra Energy Resources has invested more than $339 million in Missouri to fuel local economic growth. Today, our company owns and operates one wind energy facility in the state and is looking to invest even more in the Show Me State. We are committed to being a trusted community partner and look forward to providing affordable, clean, renewable energy for generations of Missourians to come.
And we're back right here in the Bernie High School Gymnasium. Exciting action tonight. This is set number 4, where Clarkton is up 2-1, but Bernie's up 12-9 in this 4th set. Kirkwood with the serve. Clarkton plays it and actually gets it back over. What a save that time by, is that Hernandez?
What a save.
Yeah, Miranda Hernandez. She hasn't been used to playing on the front row, but she did play the front row that time, and I guess they've already called the, is that a point?
That is illegal. That is illegal.
She'd already blown the whistle for the serve, and then she went in for the
yes,
libero. So
it should be Bernie ball.
And a point, right?
And a point. Yes.
Switched after the whistle. The referees are talking, and so so that's a point for. And now she puts her back in. Oh, puts her back in for the other.
And Coach Cowart knows it.
Yeah, Coach Cowart knows that was her mistake that time. I don't know that she'd heard the whistle. She was just trying to get her player back in there and wasn't able to do it. So hit off the block by Bree Winchester and out of bounds. Henry up with a strong block that time, but her hands were turned just enough that ball went out of bounds. Let's see, see if Brinley Cowart can hit one in this time, and she does.
It was just a nice, good in serve.
Yep.
Wasn't.
That was her goal that time, was to just get it in, I think.
I think she just warms up here and she'll keep it. I think she'll get more and more.
Kirkwood with a strong hit out of the back row that time, but hit it long. She served it right back to Kirkwood. Pass over to Henry. Picked up by Angel Johnson. Winchester hits it over. Nice play by Powell in the back row. Ball's coming down. Yep. I knew that ball was coming down hard because she hit it hard and it went straight up, hit the rafter, and came down quickly, and Brinley Cowart could not handle it.
That's the only thing about these rafters. If it is hit hard, it bounces. It's soft pass, soft hit.
Comes straight back down hard, doesn't it? Yep. So Henry with the serve. Wow. That was, it wasn't a good set, good hit, but she hit it hard enough that, and it was too close to the line. Henry couldn't tell if it was going to be out or not, and it worked exactly the way she'd hoped it would. And I couldn't tell if that was going to be out or not either. So Bree Winchester with another serve.
A roll off the tape.
Defense. Yep. Played, and not enough on it by Elena Crowder. I don't know. A lot of times, players hit that ball out of the back row when their backs to the net, and they hit it short because I think they don't want to hit it too far, and they don't know exactly how far they are from the net. So, Meese back in again to serve for the Bernie Mules. Angel Angel Johnson with a strong hit off the block and down for Clarkton.
One more step and she would have had it.
15-14 now. Bernie still in the lead. Lena Crowder back to serve for Clarkton. Nisi with the pass and just off her hands and out of bounds. That was a tough serve, and she hit it off her hands and out of bounds. So
I think she's having a hard time seeing the server
the
from
three Clarkton players that are kind of right in the middle there, and it's right in her line of sight. And sometimes, you know, you kind of plan that. There's nothing illegal about it.
Nope. Just happens.
Nice set to the outside that time. Saved by Clarkton, but too close to the net. Couldn't be picked up by Johnson and hit over, so another point for
this
Bernie.
Clarkton team is, I mean, I don't count anything out until that ball is dropped.
They don't mind going after it, do they?
They don't. I enjoy that.
They're a scrappy bunch for sure. Good pickup. Elizondo's going to, with the bump set. Rivera hits it. Out of the system for Bernie as well. Clarkton back with Hernandez hitting that one and hit it out. But boy, that's one of those that was almost too close to take. The coach breathed a sigh of relief on the sideline because she didn't know if that was going to be out or not. That ball was dropping out of the sky.
This line judge out here has done his job. He has done a good job.
That time the referee blew his whistle for the substitution, even though the upper referee blew her whistle for the serve. He had already blown his whistle, and so they made the right call and stopped the action, let the substitution happen. Good communication by the referees.
By the referees, yes. The rafters again.
Again, the rafters came into play, and it's tough to play that ball off those rafters, even though you're used to doing that some in your own gymnasium. They play a little differently for sure. Powell with the serve. Free ball back over for Bernie to play. Kirkwood with the hit. Picked up by Johnson. Hit back over to her, and she was right on the net and put it down.
I will say Bernie's new setter, Abby Powell, has come in here, and she has finally relaxed a little bit after the first set, or the set that she had to change.
Absolutely.
And she has really owned this, and I think a lot of that comes as being a senior as well.
Yeah. Good for her.
Good for her.
Yes. Nice. Kirkwood put that ball right on the line. Smart place because there wasn't a Clarkton player within 10 feet of that ball.
And Bernie's setter is coming back in, coming back here to serve.
Henry back in on the front row. And that was out. So a point for Clarkton.
2-point ball game. You can't miss serves. And fourth set. They come back and haunt them.
Those unforced service errors tonight. Both teams have had quite a few of those, and you just have to limit those as much as you can. And I know the pressure gets on you when you're serving sometimes, and it's a challenge. But that was Youngblood with that hit on the outside for Clarkton.
Referees are letting a lot kind of go tonight.
That's out for a point for Clarkton.
1-point ball game right now with Johnson back to serve. Nice pass.
Perfect pass, nice set, and a good hit.
Save.
Youngblood hits that ball back over, and good pass that time. Winchester in the middle. Picked up by Powell in the back row. Nice play by her. And there's Kirkwood, but this time Kirkwood was in the net. Another good thought. Put it right where she wanted to, but as she turned her body, it got into the net.
I will say that Kaylin Kirkwood, she seems to be a very smart, well thought out, just a very smart, court smart player.
Absolutely. Pass back to her, or set back to her,
and strong.
Youngblood with the hit that time. Kirkwood received it, Winchester was waiting for it. I think that ball might have been out, but better to play it and be better safe than sorry. Good block that time by Henry on Winchester. So 2019. So the race to 20 points was won by Bernie, but they're only 1 point ahead. So
and we just saw some energy come alive on the bench at Bernie.
Absolutely. Bernie seems to be fired up, and that's a good sign for them.
Coach Cowart knows it too.
Finley Cowart with the set. 3 back over, and Bernie can't take advantage of it.
What a save to the libero. She read her very well.
Absolutely. And Cowart generally can get that ball in that spot, but another net violation for Bernie. That's the 3rd or 4th net violation for Bernie. Maybe the 4th one, and then the one under the net.
And coach is asking who it was.
I think it was. The coach said one of them was in the net, and it didn't really matter who it was, that one of them was in the net, so we called it.
When a game is this tight, coaches are going to fight tooth and nail for anything and everything, going to question.
And Henry tried to tip that one over, and Elena Crowder was right there in the middle to block it back. So Clarkton on a little bit of a run, now up 21-20. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back after these messages.
When we look, we listen. When we evaluate, we understand. We get you to the right number without treating you like one. At Southeast Primary Care, we know your relationship with your doctor is one of the keys to get you better and keep you well. Our network of providers connects you to the brightest minds and latest technologies. It's a healthy relationship. Southeast Primary Care, always by your side.
And we're back. What a tight 4th set here in this match. Clarkton leads 21-20 right now. In the 4th set, they're up 2 sets to 1. My watch keeps going off, Coach Vancer, because it says loud environment. So there must be some yelling going on in this gym right now. So
here he is.
Everybody's excited. Everybody's fired up. The student sections are all on their feet. Both student sections are on their feet. So some excitement right now. Clarkton has the serve. Elizondo back to serve. Nice set to the outside for Kleimling. Not able to get it down. Elena Crowder in the middle. Picked up by Powell. Hit by Keely Powell that time on the outside. Bree Winchester with a strong hit. Picked up by Bernie. The setter Powell that time with a good pickup. Angel Johnson out of the back row. Finally went up with the block, but it came down on her side. She just wasn't close enough to the net on that block.
She wasn't. Hit off one hand, and that's a tough one. You can't block those when they're one hand.
She got her hands on the ball, but if she'd been on the net, she probably would have come down on Clarkton's side. So good hands that time by Blomling. Good pick that
spot. Good roll shot.
Ball hit the ground. Clarkton felt like they had picked it up.
No.
But apparently it hit the floor. They wanted it, but they didn't get it. So Kleinman back to serve for Bernie. Nice serve, but a nice pass. Good cover of the block that time by Abby Powell. And that ball was out.
23-21, Clarkton serving.
And they've got Brinley Cowart back to serve. Good timeout by Coach Vernon that time, because she needs to settle them down a little bit. They've given up 3 quick points. We're going to stay here, or 4 quick points. We're going to stay here during this break.
So I was thinking, this is class 2 district, or class 1 district 2. I'm sorry, I got it just backwards. And the district this year is at Gideon.
It is.
We won't have to worry about rafters.
That's true. That's true.
If you hit the ceiling at Gideon, you hit it really hard. You've done very well.
You're right. That will not be part of the play. You will have to deal with the Gideon fans if you're playing them. We've done games in several different gyms, and the Gideon gym can get really loud. I guess seems like the sound just travels in that Quonset hut style, kind of like this one. But the sound just travels in that place. And, but we did do a game with Gideon and Clarkton in Clarkton last year that I think was the loudest game we've done. We weren't able to hear each other even with our headsets on. So, and a serve by Brinley Coward that tripped the tape. Lots of excitement on the Clarkton side. That was in. Coach Coward is as excited as anybody. She's pretty emotional on the sideline.
I didn't know she even meant to breathe that time. I hope she breathes.
So Brinley Coward with the serve. Set up to Henry. Blocked by Crowder. Somebody was in the net. That time it was Crowder in the net. So a point for Bernie. 24-22 now. Bernie back to serve. And it's Henry with the serve. So
and Clarkton team is just yelling one. Just one, girls, just one.
Now's the time. It's easy to tighten up when you get to this point, and Clarkton can't get it back over. So 24-23.
Set was pushed just a little too far out of bounds that time, and it was too much for her to go out there and get.
It's a timeout for Clarkton. They need one more point.
Yep.
Reminder to our viewers that you do have to win by 2 points. So it is to 25, but you do have to win by 2. So
this is the rotation with Clarkton to where Winchester is in the right back right now, what we call position 2, and they're going to use her. If the pass is there at all, they're going to go to her.
Yep.
And they rightly should. And if Bernie's telling there's anything that that we know that they're going to Q1 her, so be ready to go that way. Get your serve in, relax, breathe just a little bit.
Yeah, right now, the key for Bernie is the first thing is to get your serve in. No unforced error right here. Again, back when we were kids, if you served it into the net, it just went to the other side. It wasn't a point. But now if you serve it into the net, it's a point. So it's match point right now. Good serve, it's in. And the pass back to Winchester, picked up by Kirkwood. Little out of system, but back over by Bernie. Now they set Winchester on her normal side, and that's the match. Right where they wanted to go. Winchester got it in system and put it down. Exactly what they were looking for. So we're going to take a quick break to kind of let things settle down here at Bernie Gymnasium. We'll come back for a quick wrap up, and then we'll go to football. So we'll be right back.
At SEMO Health Network, we strive to provide caring and affordable health care while making our patients feel welcome in our warm and friendly atmosphere. With locations throughout Southeast Missouri, we provide medical, dental, OB, and behavioral health services to anyone and everyone that may need it. Visit SEMO Health Network for your wellness exams, COVID and flu vaccinations, lab services, dental exams, counseling, and more. For more information, visit our website and let SEMO Health Network take care of you.
All right, we're back here to wrap things up from Bernie High School Gymnasium. The Clarkton Reindeer victorious this evening against the Bernie Mules. Bernie came out, won the first set, 25-19, but Clarkton dominated the next two, 25-17, 25-21, and then in a really hard-fought final set, pulled it out 25-23 on a Bree Winchester kill to win the game. So. What do you think coming out of this game, Coach Vansel, going into the rest of the season for these two teams?
I think both teams, I thought they were evenly matched all night. We had some very long rallies. We had some very smart girls on both sides of the court. And I think if they were to play again, I think it could go the same way or it could go the other way.
Right.
I think these two teams, and you look at the scores here, even though the second set really favored Clarkton really hard. Bernie just didn't seem to come out that strong and got down 10-11 points. But these next two scores, 25-22, 25-23, those are the games that both these coaches know that they could have gone either way.
Right. So it'll be interesting to see how the seedings wrap up later on in this this season. with those top 4 or 5 teams all vying for the first through 5th spots. So from Bernie High School Gymnasium, we're going to wrap things up here. For those of you joining us on the Aycorp Sports cable outlets, we're going to send you down Highway 25 to Metz Cherry Stadium in Kennett, where Matt Poole and Corey Sisk are going to bring you all the action. They'll welcome you to that game. If you're joining us on the Aycorp Media YouTube channel and you want to watch that game, that football game between Kennett and Caruthersville, switch over to the Aycorp Sports YouTube channel and you'll be able to see all the action. So thank you for joining us. We'll be back with you again on Monday evening as we travel to Gideon to have Gideon versus Advance. So that's exciting, and we look forward to seeing you then. So that's a wrap from Bernie.